Welcome. You may already know by the title of this video what this video is about. But what you may not know is I have my own server. Right there. The Birch Church. That's my server. I've had it for a little over a year. I haven't talked a lot about it and I haven't made any videos. This is the very first video. So let's just jump into it. What you see here behind me is our raid farm. It's a manual, no redstone raid farm. Let's take a look inside. As you can see, the pillagers come down, and we have a banner guy right there. You just simply have to push them off to start a raid. Now I'm going to swap out my fully enchanted sword for a little bit of a weaker one. But this is a completely manual, no redstone raid farm. Let's go outside and take a look at the raid spawning. Oh, it's nighttime and it's raining. Nice. As you see, the raid spawns on the platform. They're funneled down to the inside. The Ravagers are burned by the lava and killed up there. And everything else we push off and flush with a knockback sword. As you can hear, the Ravager is dying upstairs. And all of our drops end up here. Once again, the Ravager is being burned. That way we don't end up with a bunch of saddles. Nobody needs all that saddles. And also the Ravagers are really hard to kill through fall damage. This is a Sim 4 server. So all of this would be actually able to be done on a realm. I know a lot of people ask that question. I don't necessarily recommend this type of raid farm. Like I said, this was done mainly just to prove I could. I could build a redstone free raid farm. I think we're waiting on a Ravager to die. Sometimes Ravagers fight against the water current. See him right there, see the Ravager? We're gonna go help him. It works 10,000 times flawlessly, and then I record it, and it, well, bro, that ain't cool. Pop my totem, that ain't cool, bro. Let's get out of the water before the next raid starts, right? I don't know how he's fighting the water. I find it a little difficult to get out, personally. This is one of those things where, because it's on a server, I can't just refilm it. I mean, I guess I could refilm it. I could run 10,000 raids tonight, I guess. I'm gonna show that to you, though. I'm just gonna leave it in the video. Because I want to show another bug also. I want to show a few of the bugs, which is why what kept me from building a really big raid farm at first is a lot of the bugs that are present. And one of them is a second raid. We get a second raid out, and what happens is it's invisible. We don't get an icon that we have bad omen. You just have a second bad omen. And I want to show you how we dealt with that here on the server. Well, I hope I don't die. I don't really like that witch poisoning me. If I'm completely honest about the situation. I'm not going to list everyone who has helped do the digging here in the description. If they want me to list them, then they should just tell me, and I'll update the description. But I don't want to leave anybody out accidentally. So better to not mention anyone than mention a couple and leave people out. So if you want your name included, just hit me up on Discord. You're one of the members who did some of the digging here. I'm gonna die. That Ravager, man, really took a punch out of me. Okay, we have a raid victory. And here's how we keep from spreading bad omen all across our server. You see how I'm starting another raid? I have a village here. And you see that? I no longer have a village. So by breaking the village, I actually have 2 villagers behind the wall there. So by breaking that bed, I broke the village and don't have a village. So I burned the bad omen. And I put this little speed bump here to remind people to use it. That's how we deal with the bad omen. Now, I showed you how it works, how the killing works. Let me show you the collection system and how everything actually gets to the player. So once you punch them off, they end up here. And they splatter right here. And every once in a while, I'll just come down here and collect the XP. And here's kind of the heart. And I know I said no redstone raid farm, but this isn't really I really meant to make that a dropper because it fires arrows straight up and down. I really should change that out. How embarrassing. But instead of a dispenser, it should have been a dropper. And I know I said no redstone, but there is no redstone in the farm. It's only redstone in the collection system. I really should change that to a dropper. I'll make a note to myself. Like I said, it just spirals arrows up. Instead of like dispensing them and like sending them up where they can be, you know, collected, it just fires them. Which is pretty funny, but also kind of annoying. Also, it does a weird thing with water bottles that it fills them with water rather than dispenses them up, so it kind of jams itself. Like I said, that is something that should be fixed, but once again, this is a very, very temporary setup. And by very temporary setup, I mean weeks and weeks. I guess you're probably wondering how it works. In order to explain the mechanics behind it, I need to jump into a creative copy. Let's do that now. Here we are at the same iron farm, only we're in spectator mode now. And what spectator mode will allow me to do is fly through things. And I want to go here and show you something. Let me find it. Where am I at? Here we are. I have villagers here. And there's his bed. Okay? So this is actually where the village starts at. Okay? Now I have other villagers. I actually have some backup villagers that I had originally had thought about making into a little bit of a trading hall, but didn't, because this became a temporary raid farm. But really the heart of this system is something I didn't show you yet. And it's this. What we have here is a couple of villagers, right? With workstations. And what I did was I started way down there and I put a villager with a workstation, a villager with a workstation, a villager with a workstation, a villager with a workstation every 30 blocks all the way up here to build height. And what that did was it stretched the village. And then I got rid of the villagers obviously in the middle. But you get the idea. I stretched the village all the way up, so that the center of the village would be approximately somewhere in the middle. And what that did was it created a smaller area at the bottom where the raid could spawn, because the raid is going to spawn in kind of a sphere around the center of the village. So obviously the base of a sphere is smaller than its diameter. Do you understand that? The contact patch of a ball at the bottom is much smaller than its diameter. So that's how I'm able to spawn the raid in such a small area. Like I said, we still have a little bit of terraforming to do. And eventually this will all be replaced by a giant mega raid farm. But I wanted to do this just kind of to prove I could do it. That I could build a raid farm. A manual raid farm with no redstone. And like I said, then this dispenser, fire stuff up, it goes up this water column. I went a little too far there. And then goes over into the hoppers and then into this collection system. And that's it. It's really simple. It once you understand how it works, this is the outpost spawn spots. And this is why it's becoming a temporary raid farm. It's because this is the only outpost that we know of that has 4 spawn spots. So we want to use this location for our mega raid farm. If you have questions, comments, if you want to know more about our server and what we do here, I'm going to make more videos on some of the other builds that we have, including our iron farm, some of the builds that spawn. I may contact some of the other builders here on the server and see if they want to be in a video and show off some of their builds. If you want to know more about our server, we have a Discord. The link will be down in the description. That's all we have for today. Thank you. Bye-bye.